Welcome to Long Range with the Lillys. I'm Keely, this is Mike, and today we are doing part 2 of some of the most common questions that we have received up to this point on social media, YouTube, and in person. So with that being said, let's get into it. Which question do you want to do next?
This is your list.
Oh, great. Okay, so speaking of reticles, which reticle is best? This is kind of a hot topic right now.
Personal preference, 100%. Like, I get this asked a lot. So we've shot a lot of different reticles. Started off with kind of the Horus for me. You started off with a very simple, the Mill R, I think, was your first one. It was very simple crosshairs, no Christmas tree. And then we've evolved over time. I've shot a lot of different ones from the Mill XT, which is a great reticle. And now we're both shooting, which is interesting, the first time we've ever agreed on a reticle, the PR2. I love the PR2. I love the quarter mills. I think it's very intuitive and easy to use. And we are sponsored by Leupold, so take that's what it's worth, but I wholeheartedly believe that. I will say that reticle choice is a super personal preference thing. Some guys like the cluttered kind of trimmer reticles and they can see through it. Other guys like, a really simple crosshair with some holds on it. I don't like it when people tell you that this is the best reticle.
This is the best reticle. This is one you have to get, and this is why. I agree with you there because, there was a time where you used the Mill XT and I used the Mill C. The Mill XT was just too much for me. And then again, surprisingly, we both switched over to the PR2 reticle. And before that, I really had trouble picking out the 2/10 hash marks. And then when we switched over to quarter mills, it was like the world opened up and sunshine and rainbows came down. And I was like, oh, okay, now I can read wind see what my splash was and then apply it and then be able to regurgitate it, which I still struggle with, but it just has made, I really do.
Keely, what'd you hold?
I don't know. But it's easier for me to say, okay, this is what my wind hold is gonna be, and then pick it out and do it.
Again, the PR2 speaks to me because I always found myself kind of counting like 1, 2, 3, 4, whereas the quarter mill and the half mill just seem to be a little more intuitive. But again, guys, I really want to drive this point home. It's really personal preference and what your brain likes, because not everybody's brain processes information the same.
Right.
And there is no 100% right choice, because there's a reason that manufacturers offer so many reticle options. My best advice ever when I get any of these, like what's the best scope, what's the best reticle, what's the best whatever, show up to a match, you see something you haven't seen before, hey, do you mind if I look through that? Most of the time the guys will let you shoot it, but ammo is a little at a premium now. But get down behind as many as you can in as many different lighting conditions as you can, and then just see what you like and what you don't like. It's really the only way to do it, guys.
I agree. Okay, next is what pants do you wear? So this is interesting because I get this question as a woman, because women are shaped differently. Women, the struggle that I'm talking about. But in my DMs, when I post the butt selfie pictures, I every single time probably get 5 questions. What pants are those on Mike? And I mean, we talk about it. Mike has a nice butt. But people really want to know what pants we are both wearing. So you go first.
Okay, I'll go first. So guys are a little easier. I'm a big fan of technical fabrics that are kind of flexible and stretchy, if that makes sense. Yeah. Like my go-to pants are the Crye Precision G3 field pants, the all-weathers. So they're kind of a soft shell material that is wind and water resistant. But they also breathe really well, so it doesn't matter how hot the match is, it still breathes, but they provide me some real good protection in cold weather climates. In cold weather, I'll wear like a base layer underneath, and that's generally enough because they are that good, stretchy, soft shell pant. We live in the Pacific Northwest, and I don't think we had an appreciation, but we didn't have the appreciation for good gear that we do now.
Absolutely.
Because living up in the Pacific Northwest, being cold and wet and rainy like all the time, it really became very important to spend good money on gear. For hot weather stuff, there's some other pants that I'll wear. QU makes a good pro pant that I like. Again, I really like the technical fabrics that are kind of multi-purpose. I try to avoid multicam whenever I can. I feel like it's cliche. I wear it for work. I feel like, we're playing a game. It doesn't need to be that serious. And I'm not a fan of camouflage, but, if that's your thing, do you. I am really happy. It seems like there's men are blessed and you don't have this option like I do. But there's a ton of good gear clothing out there now. You've got Cry Precision, you've got Arc'teryx, Outdoor Research, Patagonia makes good stuff, QU and Sitka and the hunting community. So you don't have to have like huge, bulky clothing. Yep. Now you can have good performing technical stuff that keeps you dry and keeps you warm. And while we're on this subject, I do love the new trend of like the really soft hooded sun shirts.
Oh, those are great. Yeah. They really are.
So, yeah. All right. So that's how I dress.
Style by Mike. Yeah. For me, so women, like I said earlier, it's a little bit more of a struggle. Women come in all shapes and sizes, and Mike and I talk about this all the time. And he's like, I'm not an oddly shaped man. And a man can go out and he's like, all right, I'm a 34-inch waist with a 32-inch pant leg, and they can buy them on the internet and they get them and they fit. Women, on the other hand, I probably have 5 different sizes of pants that I can wear because of the way that sizing works for women. So with that being said, there's a couple of brands that I like. One is Cadre Clothing, Cadre Adventures. They make this called the Valkyrie Field Pant, and their pants are customizable. So your inseam, your waist, and your hips. So again, as a woman, we have much smaller waists in ratio typically to our hips, or at least that's for me in my case. And so they customize the size. I think they have 72 customizable sizes. I typically wear those in hot weather. They have the stretchy, water resistant material, which is really great. And they have a ton of pockets. Recently, I was turned on to it's Duluth Trading Company, and I'll have to look up what pants they are, but they are a fleece-lined soft shell pants, and they are wonderful. They're high-waisted so that when I bend over, I don't get any butt crack hanging out. And then I really, really love, for a technical pant, my Outdoor Research pants. Those are I've had those for years, and I wear those also in cold weather. So those are my 3 go-tos for match pants.
I'm actually kind of shocked at the number of questions we get about clothing.
It's really interesting, but people, we shoot in all types of weather, and so if you're ever out in the elements, which we are all the time, you want to be prepared because nobody wants to freeze, nobody wants to sweat. Or just be uncomfortable, because if you're uncomfortable or you're shivering, like, it's really hard to focus on what you're doing and pull the trigger. Mm-hmm. So
absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Chassis or stock?
Personal preference.
Yep.
Everything I told you about the reticle, I would apply to this. We both shoot chassis for the adjustability. A lot of modern day stocks are starting to provide that adjustability and ability to add weight. There's a lot of great companies out there. I think that if you're looking at chassis, we shoot MDT, but MPA also makes a good chassis, as well as XLR. Mm-hmm. And then if KRG is also popular. And then if you're looking at stocks, I would start with Foundation. It seems to be kind of the way to go in the stock category. But Manners, there's a lot of other great stock companies out there too. It really comes down to get out there, shoot a bunch of different ones, and then see which one kind of you like. I mean, it's so much personal preference.
There is a lot of personal preference in this game. So final question that I have is, what should be my first cartridge in PRS period? So let's say I'm a brand new person. What should my first cartridge be? And we talked about this, like getting your spouse into it, but in general, and we've talked about this a lot before. So
yeah, I get this one a lot. And I always answer this question with a whole bunch of questions. Like,
Right.
hey, what's your application? Is it strictly for competition, or are you going to hunt with it too? Next question, do you reload? Next question after that is like, what's more important to you? Like, there's all these things. I think that if you were in the competition space and you're looking to be competitive, I think the clear answer, or the most popular answer by far, is something in the 6BR family, 6BRA, 6 or one of the 6mm for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think that if you are not reloading, I always tend to steer people towards 6 Creedmoor.
Mm-hmm.
And both have been successful. Both have won a lot of matches. We've been on kind of this ADD kick of different calibers. So we're just kind of playing and experimenting with a bunch of calibers because we've been fortunate enough to do so. I think that if you are just getting started in this game, you should definitely find one and stick with it for a while before you start branching out.
Right.
And then if it's a dual purpose round, I always say like 6.5 Creedmoor. Basically, if you're going to hunt at all, it does great in hunting. You can even all the way up to elk. I'm not advocating for extreme long range hunting with 6.5 Creedmoor on elk, but what I'm saying is, as far as a dual purpose, 6.5 Creedmoor is very capable, and it's actually been used to win a bunch of matches in the PRS.
It sure has.
So yeah, that's kind of my tree wire diagram of questions.
It's really the easiest answers, without going through all the additional questions. So, okay, I don't have anything else. Do you? No? You're good? Okay.
More questions for me.
I was going to say. So thank you guys for watching. If you watched this whole way through, we really appreciate all the viewers. We've had a lot of growth lately. So if you are new here, thank you so much for joining us. If you like what you see, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We do our best to get to everybody's comments. If they have questions in the comments section, hit us up on social media. And thanks for watching.